Welcome to this new Flight Simulator update movie. Sim Update number 8 is there. It's probably one of the biggest sim updates which have been released since, I would say, the RTM version, right? Since the initial version of Flight Simulator 2020. It has the same version as the last beta version, 1.23.12.0. So currently there are some people reporting issues that you can't leave the beta, but maybe this is, I would say, the trick, because it's the same version as the official release. So what has changed? Well, first of all, the marketplace, right? The marketplace has been massively changed. So let me show you how that changed, right? If we go to the marketplace, you will see that it now is divided in highlights, new releases, special offers, trending now, and the best sellers. And as last one, the top rated and last seen. And as final one, the top 3. Right, so there are multiple categories here which you can easily search for or easily can scroll to, right? Some of them are containing a lot of aircraft, so you need to press this button to look further on, okay, hey, what other aircrafts or airports are in that specific category. The next one is the Reno Stat Spotlight event. This is definitely one you want to try, because I also tried it and it's really challenging. So you probably need to try it a few times. I can see that already some people tried it and there are some scores already here. So I'm challenging you to, let's say, break this world record. So that's cool. Other things which they have added or actually fixed, that's the flight training, right? I posted a video a while ago about the IFR navigation piece, and especially the ILS ones. The ILS approach and IFR test, that this one wasn't working correctly. That's now being fixed in this latest sim update. So really cool that they fixed it and finally listened, right? So let's go back to the release notes. So what are other things that they fixed? Well, they fixed several bug crashes caused by many things, right? Bugs in the world map, bugs caused by the Xbox Live account being signed out, frame drops due to default audio device, missing textures for some of the aircrafts. They fixed the planes with new prop system, crawling backwards. This one was, I would say, it looks like they almost made a copy of the beta release, which is because that one contained also this specifically text, because it was, I would say, experienced during one of the betas. And they fixed the animation of the prop beta on prop with ID value under 1. And as last one, they fixed the cloud save operations, right? So I posted a video about the cloud save operations, which you can now do. You can now save your flights to the cloud so easily if you play it both on the PC or on the Xbox, or if you want to create a backup of your flight plans and flights, then you can now also store it in the cloud. There's currently one known issue, and that's with the VR headset. So if you're using a VR headset, make sure that the VSync option is not lower than 60 frames per second, because it will affect the performance of the machine. SDK and dev mod, well, a lot of things here being added. I do think that this is only the portional list, because if you look at the beta, there are far more items being fixed. Continuing with the list, again, stability, lower GPU consumption. I think there was someone which reached out to me a while ago that he had high GPU consumption even when I would say, when he was in the menu or something. Maybe it's fixed by one of these issues, right? I'm not 100% sure, but maybe you're lucky. Then there was ongoing performance optimization work being done, and there was a fix for frame rate drops on DirectX 11. So if you're still using DirectX 11 and have multiple external windows, then you probably will benefit from this. Navigation wise, there's nothing changed on the navigation wise specifically, but there are changes on the world map. Both VOR DME and DME are now separated, right? You've got beacons which are offering both VOR and DME, and you've got beacons which only deliver DME. That's now clearly shown, and also the TACAN channels are now shown correctly on the map. If we look at the weather, in the weather there are also multiple changes in the weather. That there were some, I would say, reports that the weather wasn't accurately enough. Well, there is a fix now where the live weather could take up to 5 minutes to download. Well, that has now been increased, so hopefully it will be better now. And there was even an issue where the weather couldn't load if you did fly, say, during a specific time. Virtual reality, multiple fixes, including for the virtual reality controllers and also the default pilot camera positions, which are now fixed. Audio one, you can now change the main device output and communication device output from the options menu, right? So if you go back to Flight Simulator, right, here it is. We can go to the options menu and then probably it's in the general options. We can look at the sound and now you can change this, right? So you can, for example, make sure that you're using the engines via the main device, but the communication device output, you can select a different device, right? So if you're using a headset to communicate to the ATC, then that can now be done. This is probably one of the features which I'm gonna have a look at later today. But it looks really nice that they have added this piece to the new release of Flight Simulator. So continuing, they added some accessibility options, convert from stereo to mono, and they updated the activities, but those are the ones which I already discussed, right? Those should now be done, and the good thing is that they also saved the weather and the flight plan based on the cloud save. I'm not sure why it's under activity, but there's probably a valid reason for it. Then to the plane section. The plane section is so large, as already mentioned in one of my previous videos, that I won't go to all the items. There are a lot of items which have to do with the systems in the aircrafts, a lot of items which have to do with, I would say, Sim Connect and the Sim VARs. There are a lot of items where, for example, the AP warnings playing sound in unwanted situations. A lot of cool stuff here. Then we're going to the Boeing 747 and 787. Those were the aircrafts which were already part of Flight Simulator since the start, but there were also always a lot of issues, and that's why you probably also are using the third-party Boeing 747 cockpit and a Boeing 787 cockpit. It looks like that Asobo now also spent some time on fixing issues here, both for the autopilot, but also fixing issues like holes in the cockpit, the HUD being displayed incorrectly, the sysfault stays illuminated, right, in the 747. So a lot of cool things. Continuing with the Airbus A320neo, well, we can go to this one, but probably most of us are using the fly-by-wire version. If you don't use that one, have a look at that one, because that one is, I'd say, really a pleasure to fly with and has so much options compared to the default Airbus A320neo. So have a look at it, search for fly-by-wire in Google or in Bing, and then you will find it. F18 Hornet, also some fixes, smaller ones, and then we've got the Pilatus PC6, which has a lot of items being fixed here, including the fixed thermometer, the environment occluder on the 950, the prop contact added. The fuel quantity indicator is now fixed, and several other nice things which are there. And then we're coming to the, I would say, aircraft which are already longer part of Flight Simulator, but also the smaller ones. And one of the, I would say, conclusions I have is based on this list. It looks like that the default smaller aircrafts, they fixed probably most of the issues, because if you look at this list, it's not that much anymore. The other conclusion could also be that they now focused on the other ones and didn't spend too much time on fixing, I would say, these small aircrafts. The world update, or the world, they fixed the windmills, the sunlight glowing above the horizon at midnight, the hangar flickering, and they fixed trees with animation. Peripherals, if you're using them, they also made some changes there, specifically for the Thrustmaster hot ass, but also for the velocity, where one of the jokes didn't work perfectly. And the quick view assignment for the Honeycomb Alpha yoke, the default profile. And then we're coming to the SDK, because without the SDK, we wouldn't have all that great content being created either by third-party developers or by the community. So they developed, if you look at the SDK mode, there are several changes, right? In the dev mode, but also in the visual effects editor, the scenery editor, aircraft editor, and a 3ds Max exporter. So a lot of cool things. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, since we're focusing mostly on the other issues. But if you're a developer, well, there's a lot of good news for you here. As last item, there's the Reno Air Races, where they also fixed multiple issues. So if you have bought the Reno Air Races, then there are also a lot of fixes which you can expect in Flight Simulator 2020, Sim Update number 8, which has been released today. Here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.